Shalom to the family and welcome to a new edition of Hebrew Tribes. It's your G Militia coming at you live from Hebrew Channel. This is going to be a barn burner, y'all. This is part 12 of 12. This is the finale of The Devil in the Details. And I'm glad I broke this up in 12 sections. This is the finale for a reason. We're going to be covering the ideology of Satan, the narcissism, and it's tied in with hedonism, y'all. I didn't have room in the title, but it's tied in with hedonism, and we're gonna get into all these definitions. So let's start with the disclaimer. I am not a licensed therapist, psychiatrist, or psychologist. This lesson is not based on opinion or a popular talking point. All sources will come from clinical studies, licensed therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, scholars, and those with a doctorate in the field of mental health and human behavior. I refer anyone seeking more videos on the subject to Dr. Ramani. She's an American clinical psychologist, professor of psychology, media expert, and author. The purpose of this presentation is to show the spiritual connections to the mentality of those with NPD. Again, we're talking about NPD, not just characteristics, not just traits, not talking points. We're talking about narcissistic personality disorder. What is it defined as? What are the behavior characteristics and how to recognize it? That's what we're discussing today. And then on the back end, how it's connected to the evil one. So, and now the Bible, and how the Bible attaches these characteristics to the enemy and to the left-hand path. Please do not use this video as a weapon to use against anyone you suspect to have NPD. Rather, judge a tree by its fruit, research the information given, and move according to sound clinical advice and sound doctrine given. That's what we're called to do. Okay? So with that being said, I have a side note. Since an extremely small percentage of those with NPD seek help, we can righteously judge someone may be a narc or have NPD or be a narcissist by looking at all the characteristics and not just judging by a few traits, but a more severe behavioral pattern. This is about a severe, extreme, and excessive behavior pattern. It's not just about a couple traits or a couple things somebody might have said, because these are why these words become talking points and get thrown around everywhere, because people aren't looking at what this stuff really means. Okay, because this is a condition that's affecting people. Definitely. And I can tell you, I'm not going to say no names in this lesson, but I know some people. Okay, let's get it. So I am not speaking on based on feelings or talking points, nor for sensationalism. Okay, so that's not what I'm here for. But this is a subject that I have studied for over 2.5 years and felt led to share this information on both a biblical, a mental, and a spiritual level. Okay, because a lot of channels, what they do is, and I salute them, I'm not knocking them. You know, I got a lot of information from clinical studies. So that's why I'm going to present it to you. But a lot of the channels, what they do is they either have a bunch of clinical studies on the mental side. Some people have their testimonies, so that's talking about more the mental, kind of the emotional side of it. Then you got people that go straight into the spiritual aspect of it, and they'll talk about that. And then you'll have people that will just basically go by the book. What does the book say? So we're going by studies, but I haven't seen anybody on a large scale like that connected the mental, the spiritual, and the clinical and put it all together in one presentation. So praise the Most High. I'm not bragging on me, but I believe that this is gonna help somebody. This could help somebody. Okay. So let's get to it. The definition of narcissism: a person who has an excessive interest or admiration of themselves. So narcissists who think the world revolves around them. So it's marked by excessive self-love. So because it's good to have self-love, and there's a healthy way to have self-love. There's nothing wrong with self-love. Self-love is actually very needed. Knowledge of self is needed into that, and knowledge of the Father is needed into that. When you don't have all three, knowledge of self, knowledge of the Father, and self-love, you're basically like you're driving the car with three wheels on it, or I should say three donuts on it and one good tire. Okay. And again, it's excessive. So it's excessive. So let's get to it. NPD NPD is narcissistic personality disorder. It's a mental health condition in which a person believes they are better than everyone else. This is key here. Now, it's nice to have confidence, but when these people, because every rapper that comes out is the best rapper. Every artist that comes out or actor that comes out, they, like to think of themselves as the best. And to a degree, it's just putting a little spice on it. But when a person deep down believes that they're better than everybody else at everything, excessively, that's a narc disorder, or I should say a trait. While many people have narcissistic traits, people with NPD have problems that affect their lives, relationships, and everyday life. That's very key here. It's excessive, and it affects their lives, their relationships, and their everyday life. So it's not just, I like myself. I like to make sure I may spend more time in the bathroom doing my hair, or she may spend more time in the bathroom doing her makeup, or, they're real particular about what kind of clothes it goes deeper than that. Okay, it goes deeper than that. So the narcissist today means someone only concerned with his or her own interest or predicament and its origin, and it's from Greek mythology. Narcissus was a hunter who was exceptionally beautiful and also just as proud of his looks, ignoring other people around him. So this is going to be the origin of the word narcissist. It's actually from Greek mythology, Narcissus. We're going to read on that. So Narcissus in Greek mythology, the son of the river god Cephissus and the nymph Lyrio, he was distinguished for his beauty. According to Ovid's Metamorphoses, Book 3, Narcissus' mother was told by the blind seer Tiresias that he would have a long life provided he never recognized himself. So this is a person this is a person that Narcissus was, that he was very beautiful, very comely. You understand what I'm saying? And he loved, if he didn't see himself, he would have lived a long life, but he fell in love with himself. There's somebody in the scriptures that is described as just this. Let's read Ezekiel 28:13-17. Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus and say unto him, thus saith the Most High Ahia, thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, the topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created. Okay, pause right here, because there are some believers, some Hebrew camps also, that teach that he's not talking to the evil one, the adversary, Hushatan, who the world calls Satan or the devil. They say he's talking to Tyrus. Well, they're partially right. He is talking to Tyrus, but he's talking also to Satan behind Tyrus, because Tyrus was never in the Garden of Eden. He wasn't made with pipes and organs in him. It said has been prepared in thee with all these stones and beautiful. So Lucifer, before he fell and became Satan, the adversary, he was an angel. You can read in the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 6. Chapter 1, I believe, speaks on him a couple times. He's spoken of a couple times where he come with the sons of God. So Satan was the minister of music. He was the Most High's right-hand man as far as angels are concerned. He was the highest. There's levels of angels. You got the archangel, the cherubim. He was the highest cherubim in the kingdom.
Drums, programming, like what I talked about, the hi-hat, the 808 that usually hits inside of the lowest chakra, which is your sex chakra. And then you have all the information that one of God's favorite angels that was in charge of music came down and started putting messages in. The devil is also the angel of music, and that his rib cage is shaped like a harp. So that 808 that a lot of our music is, and then they put over, I'ma fuck your bitch, I'ma kill you. And that's that frequency that's rolling. And then, oh, here, pop this medication, while here, pop some mollies, pop some blah, blah. And that is the standard culture right now of music. That is what's controlling it. This pill, nightlife, all this.
Looks like you lost another one.
some. So this is why you see now with the talented Israelites that are in the music industry, such as Beyonce, for example, James Brown, Ray Charles. They all had a church going background. They learned a lot of their soul and the singing from the church. And the so-called white man seen that and put that into his corporations. Okay, even R&B, they said that what they would do is change the name Jesus out for baby. Instead of I love you Jesus, I love you baby, because the music was made to worship the Most High. So we see now why the music industry is so evil. What is the music industry doing? Is basically telling people to worship themselves. Let's just be honest. The same thing that Satan said when he came down, you shall be gods. Let's keep it moving. Thou art the anointed cherub. That's an angel. So it's again showing he's talking to Tyrus, but he's talking also behind Tyrus to Lucifer, that covereth. And I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. So angels can sin. This is the fallen angel thing. He took a third of them with him. Okay. Therefore, I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of Ahiah. I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. This is the verse right here. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings that they may behold thee. So this is what the book of Revelations was about. After the 1,000 years where he's in prison and he's loose for a season. After that season, that he'll be cast down forever. And this is the thing about it is, this is who are you going to serve, family? Are you going to serve the flesh and yourself and these wicked psychologies that philosophize everything and make it good? Are you going to serve the Most High and look at what's right and what's wrong, take the feelings and emotions and things out of it? Because that's how he plays on you. That's how the enemy plays on you, through your emotions, through your feelings. You dig what I'm saying? So it says, however, the rejection of the love of the nymph Echo in an earlier version to the young man Amenius drew upon him the vengeance of the gods. He fell in love with his own reflection in the waters of a spring and pined away or killed himself. The flower that bears his name sprang up where he died. So this is the Narcissus flower. So it was said he's seen his reflection again, like it said, because of thy beauty, you were lifted up. And again, this isn't just about the males. This isn't just I know, because when this subject of narcissism is spoken about, it's always putting on like it's all males. There are female narcs. They do exist. And they don't care about you just as much as the male narcs don't care about you. In this study, we are going to cover both. So if you're a hit dog yelping in the comments section, I don't know what to tell you. Watch the video and seek within, because one thing about a narc is they refuse to take self-accountability for what they did, and they refuse to really evaluate themselves for their part in it. They refuse to. They believe that they're God, just as Satan said when he fell. But they named the flower after this false Greek god. So the Greek traveler and geographer Pausanias, in the description of Greece, book 9, said it was more likely that Narcissus to console himself for the death of his beloved twin sister. So this is a lot of parts that people leave out when they speak on this. Narcissus had a twin sister. So when you see this Jezebel spirit, on the man, it's the Narcissus, and then it's his twin sister on the other side. Okay, for the Jezebel spirit. His exact counterpart sat gazing into the spring to recall her features. So it doesn't really say how she died here, but she gazed into the spring. He was gazing into the spring. He drowned. My interpretation would be that she probably died the same way. So when we look at this, fellas, and as a man, one thing you're going to have to understand, and I don't care, this isn't manosphere talk. This isn't red pill talk. This is real talk. This is trill talk. This is scripture talk. This is biblical, okay? This another level. Not that there ain't some truth in those areas, but this is another level for you fellas. You're going to have to realize a woman's nature. period. You are going to have to understand a woman's nature. You're going to have to understand a good woman's nature. You're going to have to understand a wicked woman's nature. Because if you don't understand the two, and understand women's nature as a whole, because there's some things that just, as a whole, but you're going to have to understand those two things especially. Why? Look what happened to Solomon. All those wives, and what happened? He fell. One of the wisest men in the world. Look at Samson. Strongest man in the world. Fell to Delilah. You dig what I'm saying, Israel? This is what happens. You got the wisest and the strongest still falling. What makes you think that it couldn't happen to you? You got to make sure that your discernment is up and it stays up. And we're going to talk more about this as we go on. Because these Jezebel spirited women in particular, their warfare is different. When a man wants to fight you, he's going to come and speak on it. Or he's going to come and do something. His body language is going to be approaching you in a manner that's threatening, where you're going to have to do what you got to do. But a woman isn't gonna approach you like that when it's on. Let's read 2 Kings 9:30. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face and tied her head and looked out a window. So she got pretty. She put on the freakum dress, the black dress. That's what she did. She was thinking she looked good, most likely, and she was going to seduce this brother and make him second guess what he came there to do. He's on a mission for the Father. And that's what a lot of these Jezebel spirited women are going to do to you if you are not discerning on who you're dealing with, brothers. You can't deal with these thoughts and scallywags and then get mad and say, oh, wimp. No, brother, you got to look at this is going to be a self-evaluation lesson. I got something for the sisters too. So this is, again, it's going to be on both sides. But it says, the story may have derived from the ancient Greek superstition. It was unlucky or even fatal to see one's own reflection. Narcissus was a very popular subject in Roman art and Freudian psychiatry and psychoanalysis. The term narcissism denotes an excessive degree of self-esteem. Again, self-esteem is good. Somebody might have high self-esteem. That's not bad. But excessive, extreme, or self-involvement, a condition that is usually a form of emotional immaturity. There are people who are emotionally immature. And I don't like to use the word emotionally because that gets taken off types of rabbit holes. We're going to talk about mentally immature and being spiritually immature because they're all connected as one. Because if you're mentally immature and spiritually immature, you're going to be emotionally immature. You're not going to have understanding. The Bible speaks on this. So let's go back to the word, because this is going to be what we filter everything through. But nothing will keep a narc away from you more than following this word and discerning things by it. Ephesians 4:14. That we henceforth be no more like children. That's Greek Strong 3516. Spiritually immature nepoi, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Spiritually immature. And this, I like to throw this at you, Bruce. When you know that your elder is saying something wrong, or your bishop or whoever you following is saying something wrong, and now you came into the truth, you came into knowledge of self in this walk. But that doesn't mean you got to stop checking things. Just because you level up, you got to watch for the devil, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And sis, because a lot of the pages and stuff, like I noticed, and people, they don't like me because I'm gonna go by the book. I could respect that, people's doing the work, but I got to go by the book. I got to. And you should too. That's why I'm not afraid to be checked. I don't bring out anything that I'm going to slip my opinion in and have an hour of me talking to you about my opinion. Though the opinion may be right, if the opinion is right, there's a difference between opinion and educated opinion. I'm going to show you where the education that came from to make me form that opinion. Then I'll let you form your own. So, yeah, but that comes from being spiritually mature. You got to be mature in this thing. You can't be tossed to and fro, brothers and sisters. It's a new doctrine. At one point, I remember I was like, man, some of these groups is crazy. It's a new doctrine every month. Then you wonder why people don't want to walk and follow us or follow the truth, rather. Look at all this doctrine. You got people talking about Israelites are fallen angels and stuff like that. It's complete madness, foolishness. Let's get to Romans 2:15 through 20. which through the work of the law written in their heart. So this goes back to Jeremiah 33 and Jeremiah 17, where it talks about Yasha. It talks about a branch of David, a descendant of David coming in, being in our hearts. That's talking about Yasha being in our hearts, what the Christians call Christ being in your heart. He's going to bring the law to your heart. That's what he's going to bring. That means somebody that's out there drinking and drugging and stealing and killing, once he's in their heart, that means they're not going to do that anymore. That's what that means. Their conscience also bearing witness. That means you know what's right and wrong. Their conscience and their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another. So there's going to be times when people going to have to be accused of doing what they do, or people going to have to be excused, okay? But it has to be with the spirit of discernment, y'all. There's some things that, yeah, we can excuse because we know that things that we have to excuse because there are things that, and I'm not saying, you know, look over some, you know, faults you did, because this is being a work in progress means you got to be working. What I mean is, like, there's people that excuse unrighteously, like Jeffrey Dahmer, a perfect example. He kept getting excused when no, he needed to be accused. You dig what I'm saying? And there were times when you seen a brother or sister getting gunned down by a cop, shot by a cop, when they said, oh, well, they were this and that, and okay, they didn't have a weapon, they were sleeping. You know, you can excuse, but you got people that wanted to excuse that, but no, the cop should have excused using deadly force. But that's a whole nother subject. We're gonna get into that another day. But in the day when Ahiah shall judge the secrets of men by Yahshua HaMashiach, that's Christ, according to my gospel, behold, thou art called a Yehud, or an Israelite, and resteth in the law, and maketh thy boast of God, and knoweth his will, and approveth the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law. That's how you know what's right and wrong. That's how you know if your children is righteous or unrighteous. When you're sitting in front of a judge in a courtroom, what are they judging you by? They're not judging by how they feel about you or something you might have said last week. They're judging you by the law. Okay, they're judging you by the law. The Most High, when he judges the world, he's going to judge them by the law. Okay, that's why Christ said, though, if you love me, keep my commandments. Those that keep the commandments are going to be allowed in the kingdom of heaven. The law is not done away with. Okay, and knows his will. Okay, I'll go. And are confident that thou art a guide of the blind, a light to them which are in darkness, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which has the knowledge and truth in the law. So this is again, you won't be deceived. You won't be spiritually immature. Ask the Most High to give you that discernment. And how do you know right and wrong without the law? This is how people become wise. Scripture, okay? So let's go into the next section here of the problem with diagnosis and discernment. People with NPD rarely seek therapy. This is because people with NPD may neither notice nor care about the effects of their narcissism on others. Okay. The right therapist, however, can help people with NPD understand the harmful effects of narcissism, including to themselves. Narcissists are often in therapy to blame others and build a case for their victimhood. This is important. Okay. A lot of them are just doing it for show. From my studies, and I couldn't find it here when I was getting these notes together, but they say about 3% actually try to change. That was the number on it. So that means 97% are reprobate. They're not going to change. And I'm telling you, and this message isn't so-called to the narc, but this message is for people that may have dealt with the narc or dealt with the NPD and kept getting, you know, their hands slapped and spit in their face and stabbed in the back. This is the help you navigate. This is help for you, not for them. This is your portion. Okay, let's get to it. Therapists also report that sometimes a narcissist goes to therapy on their own because they're upset from someone in their life setting boundaries and limits or has called them out on their behaviors. So we're going to talk about a reprobate mind, because people that are in unrepentant reprobate minds, they're not going to make it into the kingdom. Not so saith G, not so saith Hebrew tribe, so saith the Father. Romans 1:28-32. And even as they did not like to retain Ahiah in their knowledge, Ahiah gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Like it says, it affects their lives, their livelihoods, and their relationships. they ruin their whole life by their attitude and this theology of that they're God. They believe on a core level that they're God. They can't be questioned. They can't be reasoned with. They can't be talked to. They're going to do what they're going to do. And it's not up to you to change them. You have to recognize it and move around. Okay, because they do things that's not convenient. Why did you wreck your marriage? Why did you wreck your relationship with your kids? Why did you wreck your relationship with your parents? Why did you, do all these things? Because they're narcs. They don't care. They don't care. You can't make somebody care. Okay? They do those things. They're not convenient. They shoot themselves in the foot. They cut their nose to spite their face. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness. Because they say with the fornication part, they say when you're married to a person with NPD or a narc, you're married and they're not. Just look at the game tape. Covetousness. They're always looking at what somebody else has and they want it. They're never happy with what they got. They're looking, oh, look at Kim K, look at Kanye, look at Chris Brown, look at Lil Wayne, look at Nicki Minaj and all these other stars, Cardi B. They want that. We're going to talk about the connection between narcs and celebs. Let me keep it moving. Maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate. They love to debate. They love to argue. They have to get the last word. This is that part talking about the need to be right. You could show them the sky is blue. No, it's not. It's pink. No, it's not. It's yellow. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what you show them. They're going to debate it. Deceit, malignity, whispers, backbiters, haters of the Most High. This is a big one. They're not going to be following the Father. You can't follow God in mammon, or you can't follow the Most High hands in hand with the wicked one. The spiteful, proud, that's the arrogance, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers. This is that marriage thing. We're going to talk more about that. They don't have any understanding. Oh, why did they understand? I just need this. Why didn't she understand? Why did he understand? They have no understanding. You have to treat them as such. You have to move accordingly. Don't wait for them. You move accordingly. Without natural affection. Who does that? Who hits somebody in the road and just keeps driving? A narc would. Because they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to have to deal with the problem of possibly losing their car, losing their job. Though they did wrong, they earned that, right? Implacable, unmerciful. You can't satisfy these people, okay? They don't have any mercy either. Who, knowing the judgment of a higher, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. This is why I've seen narcs get together with each other. And we're going to talk about the enablers too, because they love those too, because they have pleasure in they that do them. They think that this stuff is cool, this stuff is fine. Oh, that's normal. That's how they've always been. They don't make it right. This is an abusive disorder, and it got to be checked. And we're gonna check it today. So let's keep it moving. We're gonna get in this next section, defining the behavior. This is from an article. This is from an article 9 narcissistic manipulation tactics. So you have to understand where you're being manipulated. This goes back into that discernment. Either you have it or you don't. If you don't have it, seek the Most High. Okay, it's like dealing with the narc. If you have scales on your eyes, that means the Father ain't showed it to you. It's something between you got to deal with. You got to come before Him, and not just come before Him, fall out, I'm sorry, I repent, and cry, and scream, and fuss, and sweat. But you got to come before Him and do that repentance. But you also got to get back into what does His Word say? What does His Word say I need to do? And in certain situations, there's an answer for everything in that. So let's get into this. Gaslighting. It is a covert type of emotional abuse in which the bully, because they are bullies, our abuser misleads the target, creating a false narrative and making them question their judgments and reality. However, the victim of gaslighting starts to feel unsure about their perceptions of the world and even wonder if they are losing their sanity over an extended period of time. It causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence, self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional stability, and dependency on the perpetrator. So there's a slight difference between lies and gaslighting. See, A lie is, you know, they might say, hey, I was out with Frank, or hey, I was out with the girls. No, you weren't. I seen, you know, so-and-so's post, or I got some proof. You have a receipt from the other side of town when you said you was over here, you was over there. And they say, you know what, you're right. I'm lying. I'm coming clean. I was actually, yeah, I was out. I was doing dirt. That's a lie. That's a lie because they've actually admitted to it. They've confirmed that it was a lie, and you move forward from there. You did what I'm saying. Gaslighting is when that same situation happens. You show them the proof. No, I have a receipt. You said you was on the east side of town, but you got a receipt from over here on the west side of town. We don't live over there. What were you doing over there? At this time, you said you was out with your sister or out with your brother. What was you doing? And they sit up there and say, no, I wasn't. And they'll fight that to the death. It'll never be an admission of guilt. Never. That's gaslighting. It's in the face of proof. In the face of what you know to be true, they'll tell you it's not. Proverbs 19:22, the desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. Ladies, let me speak to you. The desire of a man is his kindness. So when you meet these men, oh, he's so nice. Oh, you know, he's welcoming and this and this and that. In the ways that you like a man to be welcoming. But it says a poor man is better than a liar because they got these women online teaching other women and even speaking about wanting these guys 6 figures and $500,000 and $250,000. And people are telling, well, a lot of these guys are jerks. They're going to cheat on you. They're going to do this. You're going to be one in the rotation. But they desire these liars. Even after hearing all that, well, I still want them. So you wouldn't just rather have a guy that just works at the post office or UPS. Y'all just have a regular house, regular. No, this is what it's talking about. You're choosing to be lied to. You're choosing this when you're dealing with somebody like this. Okay? A poor man is a regular man. An average man is better than a liar. Okay? It's better. The Most High is telling you, not G. Let's get to 1 John 2:4. He that saith, I know with him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. This is why I have a problem with church service on Sunday. This is why I have a problem with Easter. This is why I have a problem with Christmas. This is why I have a problem with all you need is faith. You just got to have faith. You don't have to worry about doing any works, even though it said faith without works is dead. No. We're going to skip that. This is why I have a problem with that. Because they're making you out to be a liar. Now, for those that don't know and are ignorant to that, there's grace there. There's grace there. But the world got to hear this true gospel. If you say you know the Most High, you know Christ, and you're not keeping what they said, the Bible says you're a liar. The Bible says it. So we don't want, as believers, the reason why you're saying this, that I'm saying we as believers, as true followers, as Israel especially, we don't need to be falling to the ways of the world. And this is how we do it. Okay? This is how we do it, by what? Not keeping the commandments and saying that we know him. People out here saying that they know him, but they preaching and cussing people out in the same breath. It don't take a genius to see like, nah, that's not how it's supposed to be done. Though you may be speaking truth, that's not how it's supposed to be done. And that's past, oh, I'm rude in speech. I heard that scripture, oh, because I'm rude in speech, but not in what I'm saying. We're not talking about that. Okay? We're talking about as the scriptures say it. Yes, you can be rude, meaning being straightforward. I'm straightforward. But cussing people out and acting a dang fool on the corner, that's not what we called to do, family. Okay? So again, I'm getting on the whole spectrum, okay? Let's get to Sirach 20 and 26. The disposition of a liar is dishonorable, and his shame is ever with him. Did you not see Carly? If this isn't a textbook case for a narc, now I say she may be because I don't know her. But was there any apology from her? Was there any I'm sorry? Was there any admission of where she was, what really happened? And I think the media played into that because the media, they put out fake stories all the time. They knew that was a bunch of crap. But they wanted a reason, and this is me with the tinfoil hat on, they wanted a reason not to pay attention to this problem with sisters coming up missing. Black women have been coming up missing for years. I did post about it. They won't do articles about it, or the articles that get pushed back. But black women and children going missing. Now, they're talking about the children a little bit. But I believe that now when a black woman goes missing, which we've seen right after the Carly thing, they're saying, oh, well, oh, maybe she's another Carly. Maybe she's looking for attention. That's narc behavior, what Carly was doing. All that smiling. So it came from this movie. I'm not going to read this, but you can check it out. But basically, it was a movie called Gaslight. And again, they targeted the man because in major media, the man is always the narc, though that's not true. But in this case, he was, and he was trying to make his young bride crazy. Okay, and part of the movie, the gaslights in the mansion, whatever, kept going up and down, making her hallucinate, think things were going crazy. So that's where gaslights came from. So types of gaslights. So I'm gonna give you examples of everything I'm talking about here. Cheater, the TV show. So when you see people cheating on that show, and I can't show no clips because now film rise and bottom out, so they're blocking all the videos that have any cheaters in it, any cheaters footage, even if I'm talking over it like I am now. So I'm gonna show some clips because there's other ones where people go on the mall, they're interviewing couples and exchanging phones. Some of them are fake. I'm not gonna lie. I see a lot of them like, nah, that I could tell this looks scripted. But some of them, if it is scripted, they did a dang good job. Cause yeah, cheaters and people getting caught. Well, who's so and so? You know, cheaters like busting them, catching them with video footage. Oh, that's not me. That's gaslight. Paternity fraud. I want to tell a quick story here. There was a guy, I believe in Chicago. A woman got pregnant. That was on the other side of town. He didn't know her. She didn't know him. She must have looked his name up in the phone book or online or just grabbed his name out of a hat. Didn't know the man from Adam. Put his name on the birth certificate. This man is married across town, right? With a wife and everything. Gets a notice that he has to pay child support for this child. And they start taking money out of his check. Took this man years to fight this, years to battle against this and get his name clear. Praise the Most High, his wife was a woman of understanding. Because I can understand sisters being angry seeing your husband get a letter in the mail that he owed child support on a child he never told you about, never said anything about. But she heard him out. They went to the woman. The woman didn't know him. They never had any dealings. They were never even in the same place around the time she got pregnant. But this is the thing, paternity fraud goes on all the time, y'all, all the time. I'm gonna get more into that, okay? But that's gaslighting, because when they're caught, they don't just say, yeah, take them off, I lied. And even when they do, there's no charges for it. That goes into perjury. You know, a lot of these sisters, because, you know, a lot of those popular YouTubers will tell you men, go out there and smash, pump and dump, you know, swipe left, swipe right culture. Hey, it's our time. It's our time to shine. And look, man, let me tell you something. Pleasure don't come without a cost, man. It don't come without a cost. Believe it. If somebody roll up on you on a block and say, hey, man, I give you $5,000, hold this package for me. You like, man, I've been doing bad. I'm about to get evicted. This $5,000. He just want me to hold this for a day or two. Believe something's coming with that. Believe something's coming with that. Either the cops might come kick in your door. He might come back and say, no, I gave you 10,000. Okay, well, now you owe me 5. So you're going to keep these packages until you pay off your debt. Man, there's going to be all types of things that's going to come. There might be somebody looking to rob him and they, what they call casing the joint, watching him, trailing him, and jack boys run up in your crib. This stuff happens. And I'm not speaking examples that didn't happen. I've seen this type of stuff happen. No pleasure comes without a cost. So these false grape allegations, brothers slept with a lady. She done seen him with somebody else. She want him back. Oh, well, no, he raped me. Or maybe it come out that they had sex. Maybe she's in a relationship. And instead of just admitting that she cheated, she's going to gaslight. Oh, no, he raped me. Brothers' entire lives ruined, entire careers ruined, entire names ruined, reputation gone. And they usually 94, 96% of the time, they don't get any charge. You know, they also sexual assault, all that stuff. Critical race theory, okay? Oh, no, the slaves actually learned a trade when they were in the field. Did y'all see that article? The slaves already knew what to do. They weren't getting trained. If the so-called white man could do it, they wouldn't have been dying in Jamestown and in Virginia and all them places. The moon landing. Where were the stars during the moon landing? Neil Armstrong took the first steps on the moon. Well, who got out and filmed them? Didn't they take the first steps? Who set up the camera? Then it showed the pod leaving the moon. Well, who stayed back to film that? And how'd y'all get the footage? These are simple questions. Did you see the India moon landing on the south side of the moon, the South Pole? They will make you believe. They are gaslighting you, man. And some of y'all are believing the lie. The science, the Big Bang. Oh, nothing blew up and created everything in perfection. That's the biggest gaslight ever. That doesn't even follow scientific principles. How does nothing blow up? Oh, well, it heated up. Heat comes from energy. That means something had to have energy to heat it up. Where did the heat come from? If I leave my stove off all day, it's never going to heat up, even though it has the elements to cause heat. If I don't touch it, it won't heat up. I need to use that energy to turn the knob, right? And it has to get the energy from the outlet, right?
Canine kind, the coyote and the domestic dog, and there's the feline kind, which is the cats, the tiger and the kitten, and you've got humankind. So Darwin said there'd be a change of kinds over many years. So could you give me one example of observable evidence of a change of kinds?
So, for instance, the fossil record shows the common ancestors of all carnivores, that cats and dogs were once linked, once united by a common ancestor.
How long ago?
This, I believe, was like 60 million years ago.
I don't want something I have to accept by faith. I want it to be observable.
Observable evidence. Well, I mean, if you're just asking me here on the street, there's not really much I can tell you in terms of observable evidence. Like, we would have to really examine existing data to draw conclusions of our own.
I would have to have faith then.
We would have to have some amount of faith.
Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution where he said there'd be a change of kinds?
A monkey to a man, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a change of kinds.
I don't really believe there's any proof for that yet.
Well, monkeys are the only ones with the 5th digit, like we have.
Well, koalas have a 5th digit. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Think we're evolved from koalas?
No.
When I went to, like, Washington, D.C., I saw they had a whole exhibit just on the...
In the Smithsonian?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
Smithsonian.
wait, so that is just like some stuffed dummies, like standing around a fire.
I know that everyone talks about the missing link for humans and whatnot. I believe that there are connections that are out there that we haven't found yet.
I'm going to trust what those experts did. Those experts came up with.
I have a strong trust in evolutionary ideas based on the evidence presented.
Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds?
I haven't seen it myself, but I believe what the textbooks tell me about it, so...
You've got faith in the experts?
I have faith in the experts, yeah. I guess similar to how religious people have faith that God actually exists, I have faith in the experts knowing what they're talking about.
The scientific method must be observable and repeatable. So could you give me one piece of observable evidence for Darwinian evolution?
Okay, I would point to, as one great example, is look at the genetics of the stickleback.
What's that?
So stickleback fish are a very interesting collection of species that were recently isolated after the end of the Ice Age.
What did they become?
They're various species of sticklebacks.
They stayed as fish.
Well, of course.
Can you think of any observable evidence where there was a change of kinds?
Fish.
Human beings are still fish.
Human beings are fish?
Why, yes, of course they are.
How long did that take?
A couple billions of years, millions.
A couple of millions? How is that observable?
It's not.
We came out of the ground as a mammal, and one mammal created...
Come out of the ground? Didn't we come out of the sea?
Huh? Well, initially in the beginning, we came out of the ground and the sea after the great destruction of the...
So did we have lungs or gills when we came out of the sea?
You want to know something? Those that were in the sea, I guess, had gills, and those that were on land had lungs.
But if we came out of the sea, we had gills in the sea.
You want to know something? Who knows that we came out of the sea or we evolved from mammals?
So you don't know?
Huh? Of course I don't know.
I'm accepting that they did their science correctly.
Could you give me an example of Darwinian evolution, not adaptation or speciation, but a change of kinds?
These are changes of kinds.
They're still fish.
They're distinctly different fish.
We have thousands of examples.
Can you give me one?
I can give you thousands.
Just one.
For instance, I would say look at Lenski's experiments with bacteria then.
So what did the bacteria become?
The bacteria are still bacteria, of course.
So that's not Darwinian evolution. That's not a change of kinds, is it?
It is a change. It is a change in the genetic makeup of the bacteria, which is
still bacteria. So what did the bacteria become?
A new kind of bacteria.
So it's still bacteria. There's no change of kinds. To summarize, the observable evidence that you give me for Darwinian evolution is bacteria becoming bacteria.
No, it is bacteria acquiring new metabolic capabilities.
You said before that there is lots of evidence for evolution. I just want one observable evidence for Darwinian evolution, just one.
But I gave you some. You don't want...
Not some, I want one.
Wait, you don't want that.
I want one. Yes, I do. I'm pleading with people.
You asked me to tell you when I've watched one species evolve into another. Isn't that right?
No, one kind into another. There's 14 different definitions of species. So I want a change of kind.
When you're talking about kinds or change in families, you're actually talking about macroevolution. You're talking about changes on the level that separate, say, cats from dogs.
So could you give me any examples of Darwinian evolution?
Well, when you say examples of that, then you have to sort of look at over a longer time frame.
It has nothing to do with faith. Faith is something that I have to, unseen, I have to believe in.
That's it, unseen. Look, do you believe evolution?
Of course I do.
Are you a believer in evolution?
Yes, I am.
When did you start to believe evolution?
I started to believe evolution when I started to think out for myself.
Is evolution a belief?
Well, you know something, evolution is a thought process. Is coming to terms and checking out all the alternatives, like taking a look at the religion, man-made religions.
Let me ask you again, is evolution a belief?
No, evolution is, well, yeah, in a word, yeah, I could say it could be a belief.
When you say change of kinds, you mean the evolution of one species from another or to another. Yes, we have that in action, actually, in the Galapagos.
Could you give me one instance?
Yes, we have an example from a group of birds called Darwin's finches.
You take a look at the difference between the finches on the islands that all started out. I mean, that's very, very observable.
But that's not Darwinian evolution. There's been no change of kinds. What do the finches become?
They become genetically new and anatomically new, recognizably different species.
So they're still finches?
Well, of course, they're still finches, yes.
So they're not there's no change of kind.
Little birds that he had observed that...
What did they become?
Their beak shapes.
They're still birds.
Yes.
3 finches that turn into different types of birds.
They're still finches.
Well, for example, Darwin and his study on evolution of the birds on the island that he went on to there.
Their beaks changed?
Their beaks.
They're still birds. There's no change of kinds. That's within the kind.
Just evolution on the beaks.
So that's called adaptation. It's not Darwinian evolution. There's no change of kinds. There's no different animal involved. I want something that shows me Darwin's belief in a change of kinds as scientific. Darwin spoke of a change of kind. Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution where there's a change of kind?
Change of kind. Change of kind. I'm gonna have to think about that one a little longer.
You give me anything that I can see, observe, and test, which is the scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds.
Test and observe.
Could you give me observable evidence, which is the scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds?
I gotta think about it. So you want the evidence of it?
I would say... I cannot, I think. It's a hard question, actually. Mitochondrial DNA. So, can you repeat the question again?
Could you give me any observable evidence, just one, for Darwinian evolution?
Let me think about that for a sec.
Observable evidence, something where we don't have to exercise faith. Something that can be observed, like the scientific process, observable?
That's a good question. That one I'm not quite sure.
So you can't think of any observable evidence for evolution?
No.
How do you know it's true?
I'm not sure.
So Darwinian evolution is not observable, it's not scientific.
I guess so.
So it's unscientific, you can't prove it.
It's scientific, actually. You could prove it. It could be proven. Just
do it for me.
That's hard. That's just too broad of a...
It's unobservable. That's why you need millions of years.
Yes, exactly.
You're trusting the biology majors and the biology professors know what they're talking about, and they can't even give me evidence of a change of kinds.
Well, then there isn't one. If they don't give it, then I wouldn't say there was.
Yeah. I just go on what I've seen and what I've learned from class.
So you believe?
Yeah.
You know what that's called?
What?
Blind faith.
Blind faith.
Faith is the great cop-out, the great excuse to evade the need to think and evaluate evidence. Richard Dawkins.
Do you believe in intelligent design?
Of course not.
Do you think everything is intelligently designed?
No, I don't believe that things are intelligently designed.
Okay, you seem like an intelligent person, so I'm going to ask you something. I'd like you to make me a rose, okay? How would you make a rose?
I don't have the capabilities to do that.
Hang on. No, it's not intelligently designed, so you should be able to whip me up a rose real quick. Do you believe a rose is intelligently designed?
Definitely not.
In order for me to know what to make, I have to know what a rose is.
Well, it's got a seed, so you've got to start with nothing and you've got to create a seed from nothing.
Oh.
Can you do that?
No, I can't.
Could you make a rose from nothing?
No.
Can't make something from nothing. It's just basic, science.
A rose from nothing?
A rose.
Just like, I can't, honestly.
Why not?
Me, I have no supernatural abilities.
All the geniuses in the world can't make a grain of sand from nothing. We don't know where to start.
I can't.
Why not?
I don't have millions, billions of years.
That would be physically impossible. I mean, I would have to. That's not possible.
So how could you say everything's not intelligently designed? Where does that leave you on the scale of intelligence if you say everything's not intelligently designed and you can't even make a rose?
Why do you think there's no one teaching intelligent design at UCLA?
Because they're not allowed to.
We can teach anything we want.
There's a reason intelligent design isn't taught in our learning institutions. According to physicist Victor Stenger, the legal staff of Freedom from Religion Foundation, a church-state watchdog group, has had remarkable success in convincing many institutions, such as school boards and town councils, that they are breaking constitutional law when they sponsor sectarian activities. That includes intelligent design. When the authorities can't be convinced, Freedom from Religion Foundation sues, and it...
So yeah, that's the biggest gaslight. And then what blew up? Material, what material? Sand, okay, what dirt? Or sand, where, it just came from nowhere? Oh, well, they're still at, well, then with the Big Bang, that's why it's a theory. It's not fact. And it's a BS theory. I said it. LGBTQP plus gaslight. They gaslight. Tell you that this stuff is normal. They were born that way. That's a lie. That's a lie, family. Now, feminism. Let me tell you about this. Feminism has lied to women. Told them that in the 50s and in the 60s and 40s and before that, women were just being abused. Women were just being tossed to and fro. They couldn't do anything. That is a lie, family. Ladies, that is a lie. Feminism is the biggest gaslight to you. It's destroyed not only you, but it's destroyed the children, and it's destroyed the family unit and the husband as a whole. This is why marriages is in the toilet. I'm gonna read some stats and some facts. There are more out-of-wed babies in single-parent homes since the onset of feminism. Okay, I just went over the false accusations against men have been on the rise. Okay, you can also look at that. I'm gonna have the numbers up for all this. Higher body counts and less pair bonding. Now I know women go back and forth online about this, but the facts are the facts. The more men that a lady has laid down with, the less likely it is for her to get married. And if she does get married, the less likely that marriage is going to be successful, because you're not, feminism in a nutshell has made you hate the nature of a woman. This is why they try to be men. It's why they challenge men, and they worry about what men are saying in men's spaces and being masculine, because they're at war with men. It went from feminism being at war with the system, wanting to move up, to being at war with the guy that's a plumber, that's an electrician, that's, you know, a warehouse worker, you know, a driver. Just got you're at war with the wrong person. You're at war with your own people, especially sisters, especially black women. Okay, yeah, but it's less pair bonding, and this is facts. You can look this stuff up. These are facts. Child support in fatherless homes. This is how it affects the men. The stats of a fatherless home where the mother is the primary parent. Look at the stats of the runaway, stats of suicide, stats of drug use, stats of sex industry work. We got to the Moynihan report said this decades ago, and now we're seeing the fruits of it, because it was ignored back then. Like, oh, that's crazy. A lot of stuff they said back then, people thought it was crazy, men wearing dresses, but it's real. All right, let me finish up here. The swipe left, swipe right hookup culture, and this is one thing I spoke of, and I keep speaking on. The sex revolution of the 60s. This was going on now, just the swipe left, swipe right. But see, women, you know it's still shameful. You know it's still shameful because you're still making videos on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, where you're crying about men not being men and you not being able to find a husband, because this culture was given to you to give to everybody else, because men always wanted to get down in our nature, our testosterone. But what stopped it in those days, and they tell you women was oppressed and all this, women required marriage for sex and children. You dig what I'm saying? I'm gonna get more into that, but women required it. This is why you look back and you see the marriage, they was getting married at 18 and 19 and 23 and having 60-year marriages. That's because they was doing what they're supposed to do. And as far as that all these men was cheating and beating these women, this is again a lie. This is again a lie. The whole thing about the pizza man on the prawn flicks, pizza man sleeping with the woman, or the mailman or the milkman sleeping with the woman, that actually came from things that actually happened. Okay, that actually came from those things. Actually, it wasn't just Papa was a Rolling Stone. Sometimes Mama was a Rolling Stone. You did what I'm saying, y'all. And we see it today, but I'm gonna show you some facts on that. Lowest marriage rates in U.S. history. Okay, that's another one. 50% divorce rate on the first marriage, and it's really higher than that. 67% next marriage, second marriage, the no-fault divorce, and I believe it's up to 80% for the third marriage. So again, this is that prophecy. They will be married and given in marriage. It doesn't speak on marriage as a good thing in that scripture. 70% of divorces initiated by women, because sometimes, again, I'm not saying that if you're being abused, cheated on, I tell my daughter to get out. I tell my mom to get out if that's the case. But I'm talking about this no-fault divorce. Oh, you're not happy. He don't make enough money. You make more money now. Y'all ain't been getting along. You said for better or for worse. This is why the vows are important. And they're telling you that you're missing a party out there. You what they call the streets. You missing the streets. You know, the clubs and the going out and the single life. That's not fun. That's not what you were created for. You were created to be a man's helpmeet. And what you have to do as ladies, like I said, men have to figure out women. What you have to do is learn how to discern a man, and learn how when a man is gaslighting you and telling you what you want to hear, whether he be your pastor, whether he be your father sometimes, whether he be your brother, just telling you what you want to hear. You need to get somebody that's going to tell you the truth and adhere to that person. You dig? 90% by college educated women. So 32% of childbirths where the men are tested are illegitimate children. Back in the day, they were called bastards. They were called bastards. So that's a third of the men that got tested, the child wasn't theirs. But the narrative they told you, sisters, is all men cheat, all these men are dogs. But a third of the men that get tested aren't the father. And they didn't go into it where they were thinking, oh, well, she said it because it was a chance of me or somebody else. They're going in thinking it's mine, but something gave them the inkling, I need to get this tested. Now they're making it mandatory now. And guess who's unhappy? Not men. Lies are loved by the narc. That's how they live. They live through lies. These are con men and con women. 80% of all single parents in the U.S. are single mothers, and a third of those are in poverty. Okay. STD rates at an all-time high. I don't know if y'all heard about the surge in Houston. This is real. This is real. You can die from this stuff. People have died from this stuff. People have sicknesses that they can never shake from this stuff. This hookup culture. And again, the emergence of the LGBTQ movement to a position of power, because that elemental P didn't attach to the men, it attached to the women, the black women in particular. Look at Black Lives Matter, the organization. So let's keep it moving. Love bombing. Love bombing is a tactic in which someone bombs you with extreme displays of attention and affection with the intent to manipulate you. That's the key term. They're not just doing something nice because they love you, or they're loving people. They're trying to manipulate you. Although being showered with love can seem positive at the beginning of a romantic relationship, love bombing can lead to gaslighting and abuse. It may also occur in the workplace, friendships, and family and social systems in which one person is trying to get the attention of or manipulate the other. So a lot of you ladies, when you see these guys with these fancy cars, nice jobs, and they paying this, paying that, they're shining you with this, you need to slow that down. Okay, I've told women in my family, young and old, well, especially the young, the older women knew, but the younger women, I've heard it from the older women, don't accept these gifts from men. Don't accept them. They want their, like I told the brother, there's no pleasure without payment. Same for you. There's no payment without a pay up. They're gonna want you to pay up. And you can put your mind into what the pay up is. Jude 1:16. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaking great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. They're telling you what you want to hear. They're doing the things that, just like I said, Satan comes as an angel of light. It's everything you thought he or she would be. They're smart. They're very cunning. These NPDs are very cunning. 2 Peter 2:18. For when they speak, what great swelling words, these is flattery, of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through lust wantonness. Those were clean, escape from them who live in error. So those that were clean, those that were seeking the word, because that's the only way we can cleanse ourselves, is through the word. We escape these people. These people have made their decision of what they're going to follow. I'm talking about the 97% that's reprobate. They've made their decision. You can't show them if the Father ain't decided to let them see it. You can't override the Father. Again, they're going to speak great swelling words to you. Isaiah 30:10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy to see. You're going to get a house. You're going to get a car. God just showed me somebody in here is going to get married this year. Telling them what they want to hear. I'm not saying getting any of those things isn't what people will want, but that's why they're telling you that. Instead of telling you, hey, if you want to do this, you're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to dig deep and get a license or get a trade or go to school or learn some kind of practice in order to get where you want to get. You want to get married, you're going to have to work on yourself, work on your communication skills, your listening skills, go to therapy, really read the word, fall into the word, ask the Most High to work on you so that you're right. So when that person comes, you're ready to receive them. And then you're ready to go forward in that relationship. Not, they're going to come and get you just how you are. Don't work like, has it worked like that though? Has that worked? So types of love bombing, scam artists. So you got Dr. Umar Polite and Derek Jackson. These brothers, and I've been exposing these brothers for, I'm going to run some clips. I've been exposing these Nigarachis for years. For years. Oh man, you just hate, I'm like, listen to what they're saying and look at what they're doing. They're telling you what you want to hear. They're love bombing you. I'm building a school. Oh, these Negroes be cheating. Oh, I'm selling books. And they're scamming you. Okay, rom-coms is probably the biggest love bombing. Oh, he's a goofball, but he has a heart of gold and she's been hurt and, and they had go through all these things and they fall in love at the end and happily ever after. Life don't work that way. Okay, life does not work that way. Where am I at? And Disney wrote romance the same thing. You're gonna get married and be happily ever after. No, once they get in that castle, there are gonna be some disagreements. There are gonna be some fights. This is why you have to learn how to have what? Conflict resolution. But there's no conflict resolution with a narc. I'm talking about with a person that isn't one, you're gonna have to deal with that. And a narc is never gonna have conflict. They have to be right. You disagree with them and you walk on eggshells. That's their conflict resolution. Hovering and breadcrumbing. Oh, hoovering, excuse me. So hoovering takes place when a narcissist attempts to win a person back. This is comparable to the love bombing stage that the narcissist may employ tactics such as showering the person with gifts and praise. It says, however, this time is to win somebody back after a breakup or a conflict. So this is what happens, y'all. Basically, y'all get into it, you break up, you move on, you set up the boundaries. They don't want to keep the boundaries. You move on. And they don't care. Another thing, they don't care about your personal space. You have no privacy. You have no ways away from them. They basically treat you like a slave, like on a mental level, spiritual level, and a financial level. For those of you that are financially providing a relationship, which should be the man, it shouldn't be no woman financially providing on a large scale, but that's another talk. But they sit there and they'll breadcrumb you back, you know, and there's different ways that they do it. So let's get into some of these scriptures. So it says a certain man, this is Acts 5:1-11. A certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also, being privy to it, brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back part of the land? Whiles it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? So he's asking him, why did you sell this land for a price and then and not put it in the pot? Because there was an agreement to sell this and we're going to put this in the community pot. They didn't do it. Then when Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost, he died. Excuse me. And great fear came on all them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, carried him out, and buried him. And it was the space about 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Most High? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are, where is it? Are at the door and shall carry thee out. And then she fell down straightway at his feet and yielded up the ghost. The young men came in, found her dead, and carried her forth, buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon all the church and as many as heard these things. Okay, so they were sitting there saying that they're going to do this, but they breadcrumbed. They just gave a little bit. You know, yeah, I said I was gonna marry you, but here's a promise ring, and you know, and I'm not ready yet, but we still gonna act like we're. Oh, I said I was gonna get better with how I responded to you when you try to lead for your brothers, how you try to lead, but every time you make a decision, they questioning, they arguing. Oh, you don't know what you're doing, and you and my ex, and da 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 da, and belittling you as a man. Yeah. But to get you back, they'll show a little bit of, oh yeah, baby, I like how you did this, and I like how you breadcrumbing to get you back, man. Don't fall for it, man. So types of where are we at? Types of hoovering. So they may threaten to hurt themselves. Oh, if you don't come back, I'm gonna kill myself. I done seen brothers do this. Bro, just take your L. Learn as a man, be a better man, and move on, man. That is one of the lamest things I've ever seen. Making threats. Oh, I'm gonna come get you. We seen this happen. We seen this happen on both sides. Woman come and cut the man up. The man come shoot the woman up, making threats. That's why you gotta be real careful when you're dealing with a violent NPD. That can go way off the rails. Grand promises. Oh, I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna marry you. We're gonna go to trips. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And this is another one. Reminiscing. Don't you remember that time when we went to Cancun and you know we were in the sand and then we went and got some street tacos and you sitting there like, yeah, dumb, yeah, okay, you can move back in. That is the worst thing you could ever do, is let them back in. That's the worst thing you could ever do. They will come 7 times worth. Oh, and the last one, acting religious. Oh, I found God now. This one you got to watch for. Oh, I found Christ now. I'm a changed man. I'm delivered. Who believes that man is delivered? The man that said he delivered. Who? I ain't trying to, man, I ain't trying to knock nobody repentance, but who believes that that man is delivered? I don't see it. We got to use what? We got to use discernment, family.
Those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman.
Nigga, what?
I don't care. Record me, I don't care. Post it.
I'm not even recording you.
Post it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, I don't want you more.
Tony, stop. What the fuck are you doing, bro?
I need you. Take me back, please.
No, just please. You already put it in, bro, so I know I can't go, man. But just please, man. Just please. I'm begging you. Please, Alexis. Please, please. Alexis, Mom, I'm begging you. Please. Please, man. Please. Alexis, look at me. Please, man. That's all I can keep saying is just please.
Please what?
Please, man. Please.
No.
Oh my God, Alexis, please, man.
That bitch always lying. I ain't got time for that shit. You just sit up there and allow this shit.
What do you want to say? I'm not gonna. Well, I don't know what to say to that.
What do you say to everything else that lying ass bitch say?
Come on, now you really making me out like I'm losing, man. I'm letting her. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say.
So we're gonna get into the next section, projection. When someone is unable to handle their negative feelings or acknowledge their bad behaviors, they may project them onto someone else. Okay, so in these cases, the recipient of the narcissistic projection is usually accused of doing the very same things that the individual is doing themselves. So, you know, you'll bust them for cheating or bust them for lying. Well, you're a liar. You be lying. What are you talking about? I just caught you in a bold-faced lie. But they'll say you did it. They're basically, I know you're not, I know, what's that thing they used to say? I know you are, but what am I? You know what I'm saying? So it's very immature. Again, lack of accountability. I can't say that enough. Excuse me. 1 John 4:20. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love Ahiah whom he hath not seen? So again, how do you have love in your heart and also hate in your heart? Why do you hate your brother? Most people hate their brothers and sisters without a cause. You get what I'm saying? Okay, what are you talking about, G? What are you talking about? Gang banging. This whole drill culture. For you fellas, what is that about? These same people get on the post when they die. You'll have people sharing their photos. Oh, he was, he loved God and this. It's like he did. So he shot 5 people at the club that he was beefing with over some street stuff. But that's the man of God. You know what I'm saying? Or you'll have these ladies on these podcasts. Like, these podcasts is crazy. These ladies will sit up here and say, oh, these women are 304s or these women are promiscuous. And they'll be ex-porn stars, and really not even ex. They're still on OnlyFans, twerking and going on. So hold on, wait a second. You're saying she's this, but you're that. You gotta watch. Judge a tree by its fruits. I can't say that enough. Job 15:34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. This is the hypocrisy I'm talking about. When the church will say, when you find out you're an Israelite, or you'll find out the Sunday isn't the Sabbath, when you find out Christmas isn't Christ's birthday, you know what I'm saying? And you start moving according to the Feast of Tabernacles, the Fast of Atonement, Passover, and things that we're called to do if we're going to be followers of Christ, because Christ kept all of those days, Feast of Dedication and so on. You dig what I'm saying? And they'll say, oh, you're in a cult. I'm in the cult for following the Most High, but you're not in the cult. But you're gonna be having people dressing like demons coming to service on October 31st. The street I used to live on, which I moved further down, but there's about 3 or 4 churches, and on Halloween you can't even get down the street. You got to go the back way or something, because all the churches were. It blew my mind when I first seen this. Was like maybe 8 years ago. I'm like, celebrating Halloween, like I understood the other holidays to a certain degree, but Halloween though, this is what they own. So, yeah, hypocrites. You're in a whole cult or cult-like activity. You're not allowed to think outside what pastor or bishop says, but you gonna tell somebody, yeah. Sirach 1:29. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed of what thou speakest. I'm listening to what you say, but I'm watching what you do. You can be holy and this and that, cool, you know, because I had to learn this lesson when I first started reading and coming to the walk and starting the channel and doing everything I was doing. One thing I had to realize was I got to stop just co-signing everybody that just says Christ, or everybody that says Hebrew, or everybody that says Israelite, or everybody that says gospel or God. Because that's what I was doing at first. I was liking pages. I was putting them on my page. I have a website, apbeats.net. I was doing all of that. Not even, and then messaging the person, hey man, I seen you doing this. I put you. And I'm finding out a lot of these people, they're not really living like that. They're projecting that, like they're doing that, but they're not doing that. What are they doing? They're being hypocrites. And it looks bad when you dealing with a hypocrite. It makes you look like a hypocrite. If I'm hanging around 8 crackheads, every time you see me, I'm around 8 to 9 crackheads. What are you gonna think I am? I'm hanging around 13 adulterers on a regular basis. We got a whole clubhouse and everything. What are you gonna think I am? Or that I at least agree with, I'm okay with. I think it's cool. It works for everybody. I'm just using myself, but that works for everybody on the same level. Let's get to types of projections. Of course, hypocrites, pretenders, actors, because these people with NPD, they're great actors. I knew one. I promise this person could have probably acted, if they put that same effort, they could have acted alongside Denzel. They were that good. Like, and I used to think once everything came to fruition, I was like, man, like, really had me fooled. And they will really have you fooled. They will come as everything again. Everything you thought, but these red flags exist. We're gonna get into that too. Also the duplicity. These women singers such as Beyonce and Sierra, all my single ladies and my independent woman and Who Runs the World girls and all this and girl power, and go home to their husbands. Especially Beyonce. I didn't know this, but Jay-Z basically handles all her finances. Like, basically, ladies, that's in the same vein as she signs her check over to him. And I ain't saying nothing's wrong with that, because sometimes, like Christ says, the people of the world have more sense than so-called children of light. You dig what I'm saying? Because if I'm with a lady and we're together and this is my woman and it becomes my fiance and my wife, and she was assigned, I would, first of all, I would put the money back in her account. That's just me. I would put the money back in her account, but I would put a section in different accounts that are going to help her build. You did what I'm saying? Help her save. That's what I do for myself. So I would do the same thing. And I would be even more honored that she trusted me to do that. I wouldn't take her money and run and go buy some Gucci slippers. That's what it's about. It's about that understanding, because these people will sit here and tell you one thing and put one thing on a record, like Cardi B, Glorilla, tell you do all this toxic stuff as if it's cool, and then turn around and be booed up and married the next few years with kids and everything, while you out here being toxic. You got to wake up and drink the damn coffee, man. Let's get to the next section, triangulation. Primary supply and flying monkeys. It's a three-parter, so y'all listen. The first thing, triangulation occurs when a person tries to bring a third party into a conflict to benefit them. This is a big one, y'all. This is a big one. Now, there's a biblical way to do this, and there's a narc way that they do this. The biblical way is when you have a problem with somebody, you speak to them one-on-one. If y'all can't do it, you bring in a third party, which you both know, which is going to judge by the truth. If they don't still listen, then you bring in a few more people, maybe a small congregation. They don't listen, then you bring it to the church. That's when you see people being exposed and all this. You should have went through all those steps before you say, okay, now I got to bring it to the church. And the church should then tell this person, hey, you need to get right. You did this wrong. You was like one of these camps out here, oh, you preaching this and that, but you out here with bottle girls and slapping rear ends and doing the Tootsie Roll in the club, but you talking about the Sabbath and following the, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't go out and have fun, but that was very worldly. How was that different from the world? It wasn't like y'all was out with brothers and sisters like we do at these Hebrew events. You was out on some. So I thought Gucci Man was gonna pop up. You dig what I'm saying? One of these organizations out here. Now I give them this. They did acknowledge it. It took them a little minute, but they didn't have no choice. See what a narc will do is bring somebody that already agrees with them. This is why you'll see these women go to other women that have these kinds of behaviors. They'll pull in other women that are 304s, be like, oh, well, listen to her. Well, her advice? Of course she's gonna tell you to do it. She's in that life. It's like men want to grab these quote unquote red pill dudes. Oh yeah, man, you know, I can get married and as long as me and my wife has an agreement, I can go mess around. She knows I'm coming home to her. That, hey, if that's her agreement, that's her agreement. But you got to remember, your agreement of marriage ain't just with her, it's also with the higher power. So when it's all said and done and you're laid in that casket and you go and you sitting in front of the throne of the Father, you can't tell him, yeah, I committed adultery, but Clarissa over here said it was cool long as I came home and I made enough money to keep her happy. What's think gonna happen to you? Stop bringing in these people that agree with you and stick to the dang word, man. This form of manipulation can be done within a relationship or friendship or even narcissistic parents. Oh, y'all heard of that? When them people bring in their parents and they daughter or son can do no wrong. That's the third part. We're gonna talk more about that. When people discuss narcissists, they sometimes use the phrase flying monkeys. Flying monkeys refer to people who carry out the work of a narcissist or a person with NPD, abusive person. And it comes from the Wizard of Oz, in which the Wicked Witch of the West puts flying monkeys under her spell. So this is, again, the enabler to me is just as works as the narc. The narc would not go as far as they did in society and in their lifestyle and belief ideology if they did not have the enabler. The enabler is the one that says it's okay, that supports them. Look at 600-pound life. There's no way you're gonna be around me damn near 600 pounds and I'm gonna bring you a platter of pizza. Stop enabling. There's blood on your hands when you do that. Proverbs 17 and 15. He that justifieth the wicked and he that condemned the just, even they both are an abomination to the Most High. So for my Hebrew brothers and sisters that's out here speaking righteously, doing the truth, what we're called to do, and people are saying, nope, my spiritual leader is right, or these celebs or whoever I'm following is right, and you're wrong. They are a abomination to the Most High. Don't take it personally. Dust your feet and move on. Okay, because we all called to dust our feet at certain points. Proverbs 17 and 26. It is surely not good to punish the innocent or to flog a noble for his honesty. You got to appreciate the real, not just hear the real, but appreciate the real. Appreciate somebody telling you the truth. Appreciate, I done called brothers and told them, hey, bro, you messing up out here, man. You got to get it together, man. You got to, or you going to be destroyed. I know you trying, but these things you have done, you about to put a permanent scar on yourself that you may not be able to hear from. You dig what I'm saying? You need to have, you got to be your brothers and sisters keeper. You got to. Be honest. Let them try to flog you. That's what they do to people that tell the truth. Be honest with them. They don't want to flog nobody that's telling what they want to hear, family. And again, I'm talking about being constructive criticism, okay? Not just going out, bashing, quote unquote, because that's another word you just thrown around. But Isaiah 5 and 20, woe to those, that means destruction. Woe is destruction. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who turn darkness to light and light to darkness, who replace bitter with sweet and sweet with bitter. These people think bad is good. These people think sliding on the ops is cool. They think going to jail is cool. They think running up your body count is cool, and finessing these men is cool. And they tell you that you wrong for reading the Bible. They'll tell you wrong for keeping the Sabbath. You're wrong for trying to keep the feast days. You're wrong for trying to follow the scriptures as Yasha has told us to. You got to stay the hell away from these people. Do not be trying to negotiate. We don't negotiate with terrorists. The NPD is a terrorist. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Either we're going to end up going to war, or we just going to have to separate. And I say to separate. Going to war is the last strategy that you want to deal with, because you don't want to get physical with them. These people go in court, and you'll be the abuser, and they'll be the victim. I'm trying to tell y'all, run away. Okay? Ezekiel 3 and 18 is a big one right here. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. That means he gonna die in his sin. This is what we're called to do. I call myself a watchman. But if you're a watchman, you're a teacher, you're a preacher, you're a bishop, you're an elder, there's thousands of different titles for people that do the work. If you are not telling people and warning people about what they're doing and what's to come from it, and what's the judgment for it, not just patting them on the back and giving them, but telling them, hey, man, if you out here doing this, telling brothers, man, if you out here doing that, telling sisters, if you out here on this side of the tracks, it's going to end bad for you. It's going to end bad for you. You bringing in paganism into the Most High, and then you preaching at the people, or you're not preaching about paganism because you don't want to offend people that you know are doing pagan practices, praying with stones and all type of stuff, keeping pagan holidays, all type of stuff. You don't want to say nothing. That blood is now on your hands. When they die, the blood is going to be on you as if you killed them. That's how the Most High sees it. 1 Kings 21 and 25. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of Ahiah, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. See, Ahab is a perfect example of an enabler. He was the king of Israel, and who was his wife? Jezebel. He should have cut that switch off a long time ago. Check out my video, cut that switch off. Self-preservation, fellas. Do not let these wicked women, these Jezebel-spirited women, bring you down. Are these Jezebel spirited brothers your friends, bring you down, get you caught up in some foolishness, have you doing 30 years somewhere in the penitentiary? Do you understand what I'm saying? It goes on both sides. This is where that discernment comes in, and you got to move accordingly to your discernment. You can't know it and have the discernment and then not move accordingly. If you see it's a snake over there and it's poisonous, what you gonna go over there for? Nobody feels bad for somebody that gets bit by a snake and there's a snake trauma. Where we at? So types of triangulation talk shows like Ricky Lake, Jerry Springer, Maury. You notice how they treated, you know, the women that came on the show different from the men that came on the show. You can watch the clips. I'm not gonna run through them, but a lot of people are coming onto that show lying, cheating, but they bring the other one on for lying and cheating because but the crowd, they on TV. The narc loves attention. Remember that, good and bad. Social media rants of a personal nature. Now, if it's one thing you talk about your testimony, or there's times of people getting exposed. It is what it is. But when you're going on constant 20 videos, 20 posts, I've seen brothers dedicate entire channels. You're constantly talking about this person. You're constantly talking about somebody, this personal rant. You could have did that. Now, if they doing one or two, like I said, okay, they me speaking on what happened. You can't, you know. But when you constantly doing that, why are you trying to triangulate everybody? They're looking for somebody to build them up. And the last one is hive mind thinking. They go with the crowd. Everybody's a whore. Everybody has a whole phase. No, you have one. Stop trying to triangulate. Because you're going to have to answer for what you did. Let's get to it. Get to the next section. Playing the victim and guilt tripping. This is a big one. Okay, if you've done nothing wrong, there's no reason to feel guilty. I tell my brothers and sisters that all the time because a lot of y'all coming to the truth and y'all are very sincere. And I love y'all. And I have love for y'all. And sometimes I'm also going to admonish you with love. I'm going to tell you that you're doing the right thing and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. People have tried to make very close people to me have tried to make me feel guilty about my channel. Have tried to make me feel guilty about my walk, about what I'm doing, my music, when we go speak at seminars, when we go do shows and music videos. They tried to make me feel guilty about that. And y'all know I'm not arrogant. I know I'm not arrogant. I'm not doing this like, look at me, I'm the best ever. But they try to make me feel guilty. Because a narcissist believes that you should be worshiping them. Your time, your value, your attention, your resources should be going in their narcissistic mind, should be going to them. You should be worshiping them as a god or a goddess. A narcissist will often play the victim after engaging in a harmful or vengeful behaviors, turning any sympathy and attention unto themselves. They might do so by saying that they were the ones who were hurt or manipulated and not the real victim. This happens a lot. This happens in court. Yeah, so this happens in court. You know, this happens. I'm gonna give you some more examples, but this is what they do. They throw a rock and hide their hands. Sirach 20 and 15. I'm sorry, 16. The fool saith, I have no friends. I have no thank for all my good deeds, and they that eat my bread speak evil of me. Oh, woe is me. I'm so sad. Nobody likes me. I don't have any friends. Don't nobody want to hear all that, man. Don't nobody want to hear all that. I don't go to pity parties. Now, do people go through things and all that? Yeah, but okay, lick the wounds and get back right. Don't nobody want to go. There's people I had to cut off. Like, look, man, every time I talk to you, I feel heavy. But you're just like, yeah, and this, and you got into it with this person, that person, by end of conversation. I came in the conversation like, yeah, man, what's going on, dog? What's happening? By end of conversation, I'm like, yo, I don't know. Hey, man, I'm gonna call you back. I'm getting off. I'm feeling heavy. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? It's his issue. These narcs exist, bro. They are out here, man. 1 Thessalonians. Don't let nobody bring you advice to no pity parties. Tell them you're gonna pray for them, get some good advice. And when you give them the good advice, a lot of people, you give them the good advice, like, look, man, you're gonna have to do this. Hey, you have a problem with the job, or this is how you handle the HR, blah, blah, blah. And this is how I handled it, or this is how, you know, it's done. I work in HR or something, or I've seen this done at my job. And you give them they're like, yeah, but man, they don't want a solution. They want a problem to complain about. Some people have problems for every solution. So we're going to go to 1 Thessalonians 5:18. And everything give thanks, for this is the will of Ahia and Hamashiach Yasha concerning you. This is the will of the Father in Christ concerning you. And everything give thanks. When it's bad, when it's good. When you're going through bad things, it's for a reason. You're that silver that's tried in the furnace. It's burning those impurities off so you can come out clean. Don't stay in the fire of a furnace. That's the difference. When you recognize things, seek the wisdom of the Most High and to move accordingly. You only seek the wisdom from His word, not opinion. Keep saying that. James 5:13. Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing psalms. That's why, shout out to everybody that caught the Watchmen reports. This is how I speak outside of doing this. I sing psalms. These are psalms to the Most High. Negro spirituals, if you may. You did what I'm saying? What you listen to reflects how you move and how you think and how you operate. Why you think they got these toxic thought rappers telling women to talk about their sexual exploits and their body parts and what color they are and all? Why you think they got other male rappers talking on here about sliding and drill music? And why you think that is? Is there any honor in that? What does that lead to? Music should be a uplifting thing. And we're supposed to uplift the Most High in our music. All right. Hebrews 13:5. Let your conversation be without covetousness. This is a big one. Dealing with somebody with NPD, they always coveting, they always want what somebody else got. And be content with such things as ye have. You have what you work for. And sometimes, like I've been at jobs, they weren't paying me enough. And I may have requested to get paid more, but at some point, okay, you're not gonna do it. I gotta move on. And that's what you gotta do. But you're gonna have to put in work and you're gonna have to make the move. The work is worth its pay. It says, for he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So the first thing, you gotta have the Most High. You gotta be dealing with Christ. First off, you're not dealing with that. Nothing that you doing is gonna come to fruition. You gotta build your house on that rock. You dig? Not sand. So when that storm comes, it's over. The storm is gonna come. Don't get me wrong, the storm's coming. Where's your house built? On the word or on man, tradition, and ideologies? That's what this whole series is about. Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. Ahia is not mocked, for whatever a man soweth, that he shall reap. When you see these people keep going through it and always got a hard luck story, what they call. Sometimes they put themselves in that position, family. Sometimes that's what that is. That's not them being victims. Sometimes they are the victim that they have made themselves to be. They decided to go down that dark path. They decided to go to OnlyFans and then cry that their kid is getting made fun of, that they can't have a serious relationship. You decided to go down that path. You got to take it. Just like these dudes rap about gang banging and shooting ops and hopping out with choppers. Then your boy gets shot and your other homeboy get 30 years and your other homeboy gets 60 years and you want to get on here. It's hard out here. You doing the hard stuff. That's what happens. You have made yourself a victim of your own circumstances. I don't feel bad for you. Take it like a man or a woman. Put on your big girl panties and your big boy pants. We're not playing on this, man. I'm not doing pity parties. Types of self-victims, the Ken and Karen epidemic. These Kens and Karens that sit up here and harass black people, then call the cops and say they're the ones being harassed and they're fearful for their life. They're the ones that are in there doing X, Y, Z. They're the ones that are in there messing with black people, and then turn around and want to call the cops and say the black person is the abuser. Accuse them wrongly of whatever the hell they said that they did, hoping that the race supremacist, the white supremacist race soldier, if there is one that's gonna come out there, is gonna shoot the black person, and they can say, "Hey, I didn't do it," but shoot, you set it up, and you knew what you were doing. So yeah, that's that self-victimhood. The system of white supremacy for y'all it's a system of victimhood. They will come to a country full of black and brown people They will shake hands with those people, be in unison with those people. They will ask those people, make an agreement to have a portion of the land. They will push those people further and further off the land, then war with those people once those people realize, oh man, we got to fight this. But they have better weaponry. They will kill those people, enslave those people, rape those people, and 50 years later claim that they're those people and that they're victims. Don't believe me? What do you think the Dawes Act and the $5 Indians is about? What do you think that is about? The Indians called the colonizers pale face. Have you seen who walks around talking about their Indians today? You think Steven Seagal's an Indian? You need help. Let's get to it. Celebrity sellouts, these people that sell their soul to Satan to get rich in the celeb world, and then their career gets ended because Satan will snatch that rug right up under you. He'll use you, and the white supremacists always break their tools. Then they're out here crying, man, I just tried to do what's right and use my talents. I don't feel bad for you. If you sign a contract with Satan, guess who you are in league with? Satan. That's why everything's about a covenant. You either sign a covenant with the Most High or you sign a covenant with Satan. So the thing about it, some of y'all signed that covenant with the Most High and then you broke the covenant. So by default, you're in league with the evil one. That's what people don't understand. Like I said, man, repeat felons, you know, these guys that come out, they thugging and keep going to jail. I don't feel bad for you, man. Man up, do right. I realize that ain't the way. Obviously, you're not a successful criminal if you keep getting caught. Okay? And these ex-Prime stars and FO content creators. Ladies, when you put yourself out there like that, you can never get it back. You can do all that and then repent and become the housewife. So that's not something that happens. You know what I'm saying? At least on the regular. Very small percentage, but that stigma still stays. It doesn't leave, especially now in today's digital age. That stuff will never leave you. And it blows my mind. These women have sons and daughters in school. It's like, don't you know that these kids will make your kid want to delete themselves? They're showing pictures. It was one thing back in the day. We used to have the dirty dozen. We'll say your mama this, your mama that. These people could pull up naked pictures and video. Oh man, my heart goes out to them kids, man. But I believe those are narc mothers doing that stuff. Especially when they know. Like Kim K crying that her son found a Blocks cartoon of her doing it. Like, that's not even the worst thing he gonna find. Wait till he gets older and finds out what's really going on out here. That's going to affect them. That's why I don't praise these people. They not my leader. They might be your leader. They're not my leader. And those that watch the channel, I know that they're not your leaders either. Let's finish this thing out. We're almost done. Revenge seeking, the smear campaign, and lack of empathy. There's no empathy within a narc. A narc smear campaign occurs when a narcissist creates a web of lies or exaggerations in order to discredit or isolate a person. This is typically done publicly, and to anyone who will listen, the victim's friends and family are not exempt. So they are big on revenge. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Heat. I love this movie. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, there's some big names in there. Long story short, they were bank robbers. Okay, and these guys made millions and millions of dollars. These guys was owned. Houses, cars, they was owned. You dig? Had all types of equipment. They were professionals. They weren't, get down. They cased places. They knew security systems. They knew cops, arrival times, everything. And he had everything, and he had the girl. Robert De Niro's character, spoiler alert, it's from the 90s, 95, I think. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But he had everything. He had the girl, and he was literally one exit away from the airport. He was about to take the girl. He had the money already. They just hit the last big lick, the hoorah. Get on the plane, go somewhere, disappear forever, happily ever after, quote unquote. But no, he had to get his revenge. He had to go kill the dude that double-crossed him. Even though the dude that double-crossed him, it didn't affect him to the point where he couldn't operate. The narc loves revenge. And the Revelation 209 people, they love revenge. Look how, they own the movie industry, right? Speaking of movies, Look how many movies are about revenge. Peep game, family. Where am I? When the NPD feels wrong, they often go into revenge-seeking mode. This can be shown through confrontational communication or passive aggressiveness. So 2 Peter 2:10, but chiefly them that walk after the flesh, in the lust of uncleanness and despise government, that means authority. Presumptions are they, self-willed, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. I've seen some people say the believers, professed believers say some of the most unbiblical things. Say some of the most unbiblical things because they got to be right. Instead of saying, oh, wow, I didn't know the word said that. See, me, when I was coming to this thing, there were things I thought I knew, and there were things I knew, and there were things I haven't learned yet. But when it was presented to me, I wasn't like, oh, no, bump that. I'm not, that ain't biblical. That ain't the check. I've seen believers say, I don't believe this chapter. I don't believe Deuteronomy 28. I don't believe Genesis 1. I don't believe the book of Jeremiah. I done heard believers that sit in service or sit under a congregation. You dig? And will say, I don't deal with this. I'm like, what? No proof of how. Now, there's some things they'd be like, hey, they changed this, like names and letter J. They can show that. But look, we're going to keep it moving. 1 Kings 19:2, then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. So Elijah had a contest with prophets of Jezebel to make the altar catch fire. His altar caught fire, theirs didn't. I'm not going to go through the story. And he slew them. That was the thing. Whoever fired don't catch fire, they're going to get slew, killed. He killed him. Jezebel said, if I don't make your life as one of them, is what she say? By tomorrow about this time. She wanted revenge. If she would have repented, if she would have seen like, okay, there's something supernatural going on here, and I'm in the wrong, just like Pharaoh. Pharaoh was a perfect example of a narc. You see the Most High working and showing you what's right and what's wrong, and you still gonna be bullheaded. That's why people get what they deserve, man. That's why I'm saying they're not victims. Don't feel bad for everybody, y'all. Matthew 18:21-22. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Yahshua saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So this isn't me telling you not to forgive. Forgive them. I'm telling you, forgive them and move on. Close the chapter and move on. Move on. Okay, so types of revenge seeking. Holding grudges. They love to hold grudges. And I'm not talking about in the sense of like a sports grudge, a team, Dallas and the Texans, or Philly and the Vikings, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like it could lead to assaults, murder, destruction of property, a bunch of subliminal posts. And I've seen people beefed out for months online, just keep subliminally posting about somebody. Like, let it go. Y'all had it out. Y'all obviously not dealing with each other. Hey, people do it to me. We disagreed on something. Okay, cool. Like reason y'all don't know because I don't bring that here. I don't bring that online. I don't bring that out. Period. Let it die. Let sleeping dogs lie. Let it go. And they'll go on this smear campaign. That's part of that too. Revenge. So grandiosity and extreme need to seek admiration and validation. I'm not going to read this, but they have many of them, not all, there's different types, but one thing about it is they all have an extreme need for admiration and validation. They need validation. They need admiration. They need it like you need air. You know what I'm saying? They need it. So peep that. We all like validation and admiration, but when you're constantly seeking that, they'll go with, that's why I said in the beginning, they'll be led to and fro. Oh, this group over here has 3,000 members on the camp, and they'll do this. If I join, with them, then I'll, have all these friends, and I'll get all these praise online. That's why these people join these camps. I'll be like, after 2023, why are you still seeking out these organizations, all the information that came out? I'm talking about some of the larger ones. Admiration, man. They know if I join with this camp, if I put a name behind my name of a camp I'm with, I know my numbers will go up. But wide is the gate. For if a man thinketh himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. That's Galatians 6:3. You're not all that. Be humble, sit down. Shout out to Kendrick, man. Job 15:31. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. So when you trust in these vain things, how you look, your admiration, your validation, that's what you're paid. That like y'all should say, surely they have their reward. That's your reward, not the kingdom. You're looking for the admiration of men. I've seen people know this is the truth, see this is the truth, but because they know they're going to lose followers, they know they're going to lose subscribers, they know they're going to lose friends, possibly family, maybe even their relationship, they're not going to I'm going to stay over here with Kemet. I'm going to stay over here in the church. I'm going to stay over here with this camp that's teaching something that's not right, that I know that's not, and it goes outside the truth. I'm going to stay with it because that's what I'm getting validated right here, and I'm not going to get as much validation because the truth don't get that much, regardless of who speaks. But that's what they live for. Matthew 6:5, speaking of that verse. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues or on TV and in the corners of streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. This is their reward. Their reward is that validation. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all, man. This is real. So types of grandiosity, this is the real hyper masculinity. This is the guys that brag about pump and dump, the Lakers dude, who's telling people to go out there and sleep around, telling women and men to go out there and sleep around, then on the back end saying how messed up society is. Look at what you're promoting. That's like me promoting gang violence, then talk about the black community is in trouble. Men, peep game. We women, over sexualization. First they said men are exploiting you. Feminism said men are exploiting you. They're getting this money, and men were. This is true. But then now they got you exploiting yourself. You can start your own OnlyFans. You can start your own escort service. Still bad. Celebrity and fame, again, it's grandiose. This is why they show the love in hip hop. This is why, and more women are on social media more often than men. This is why they show them in these big houses, cars, going on these fancy trips. This is why they do it, because they know subliminally you're thinking, man, me and my man ain't did this. So now you're looking at your man crazy. Oprah used to have a theme, like when her show was on, the men would leave the room because she would bash men and have men looking like they down low, they cheating, and men was everything but a child of God. That's why, and look at Oprah now. Surely she has her reward though. Okay? So that's where all that comes from. So a chronic sense of entitlement, next section. The entitlement mentality is defined as a sense of deservingness or being owed a favor when little or nothing has been done to deserve special treatment. It's the you owe me attitude. Entitlement is a narc personality trait. People with an entitlement mentality often see themselves as superior to others. So that's the part that tripped me out. You ain't did nothing. You ain't done nothing, but you want it all. You have to earn everything. You have to earn a paycheck. You have to earn somebody's love. You have to earn respect. If you're walking out here half naked, what is there to respect about you? If you're a thief, what is there to respect about you? You might rob me. And that's the whole enabler thing, knowing that their friend is like that. And oh yeah, they sleep around, they do this, but they wouldn't bring that around me. And then find out that they slept with their husband. Their homegirl slept with. Well, she wasn't 304. You knew this. What made you, and the NPD, what made you think it wouldn't come to you? You got to peep game, man. These people have, there's no morality in them. 1 Timothy 5:18, for the scriptures saith, thou shalt not muzzle the ox when thou treadeth the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his hire. So the labor, again, you got to go hard. Like I went from a warehouse worker, a janitor, cleaning toilets, cleaning floors, to being a parts manager, to being a supervisor, an assistant manager, to now being an ops manager and beyond. And when people see me as I moved up and I would go to different jobs or whatever, they'd be like, oh, he think he all that. thinking I'm making more money than I'm making. They don't understand. I worked hard as hell to get here, man. And I'm still trying to get somewhere else. You count my money, you pocket watching me. Get on your own grind. The worker's worth is higher. You got to fight. You got to do a lot to make a little. Sad to say, this is inflation, man. He told Adam, you by the sweat of your brow. Put in work. 1 Corinthians 3:11, for no one can lay a foundation other than the one which is already laid, which is Yahshua HaMashiach, that's Christ. See 2 Corinthians 11:4, preaching a different Christ. This is why it's so dangerous. This is why, again, I go in on the church service and the Christian religion. This is why, because 98% of them ain't preaching the Christ that's of the Bible. Keeping Sunday, crosses, statues, holidays. I can go on and on. Not calling out the problems in the community so we can fix them by the word. That's what the word is for. B-I-B-L-E, basic instructions before leaving earth. Not following none of the instructions, or following little pieces and parts. Revelation 22:18 through 19, because this is what they're doing. Even some camps do this. This is why your brother don't get that much exposure. Because there's some brothers that may watch me that may be in them. And if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. But if it do fit, you need to get right. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, a highest shall add him unto the plagues that are written in this book. You're adding unto the word. I've seen people add Sabbaths into the word. Yeah, keep this Sabbath and this. No, he didn't say that. Or do this and then do. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that you had to do that. If you choose to be a vegan, you can be a vegan. He didn't say you have to be that. Stop adding unto. Because this is what else they do. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, a highest shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. This is the law, Deuteronomy 4:2. This is why we have to keep the law. Now you're taken away from. There's some churches don't want to read the Old Testament at all. Don't just act like that's a whole different God. God of Old Testament, like, no. That's why in the New Testament they say, as it is written. They're talking about the Old Testament. When it says, as it is written, Old Testament. You got these super brews coming around here talking about, meat is evil. Eating meat is evil. Well, what about Passover? So Yahshua was evil when he ate the fish? Stop adding on to, stop trying to be over righteous and just follow what it says. You're going to destroy yourself. James 4:3, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. You're asking for the wrong things. You're asking for this narc to be your husband. You're asking for this narc to be your wife. And it's not working out because you're asking amiss, because you're trying to consume it because you're lusting for this person. They find, they move away you like. They doing something that you like. Let's just be real. But the Most High, that's not your portion. He's trying to tell you that's not your portion. Can two walk together lest they be agreed? If they are on that devil's demon time, how's it going to work for you if you're righteous? I've seen people in the truth go outside the truth to find somebody. And that's cool because some people are going to be coming in. But when the thing about it is this, we got to follow the path that the Most High set for us, period. And you can't make somebody see. You can't make the scales drop from their eyes. When Yahshua told Peter, I didn't reveal this to you, but the Father did. That's real. So that's why I get on the church and these camps and these self-proclaimed prophets and gurus and these new age movement modern people. These people online telling you to go do this and do that and make yourself a straw man and all that. You got to get right with the Father first. What does the Father say? What does he say concerning the land and the times and how we should move? And consume it among your lust is going to leave you empty at the end of the day. We got to move according to the word. I say it to my last breath. Okay, and the whole materialism and the valley girl attitude. This is the entitlement because you believe, again, with a lot of this religious teaching of religion and wrong doctrine and the truth. People think that they're guaranteed heaven. Everybody's in heaven. Everybody now, I know they're in a better place. You sure? How you know? So hell just empty. When it says in Isaiah, hell hath to enlarge herself. Some people, that's one thing I get at Geno Jennings. Now, I won't say who's going to hell, but I'll let the Bible tell you. It tells you many times who's going to hell, the fornicators, the sorcerers, the this, the that. It's a reason for that. Because these are things you got to repent from and get right. Or that's where you're going to be heading. That's the scriptures. So let's get it. So red flags and toxicity. So red flags and toxicity. A red flag is used as a warning of danger. Red flags are warning signs that indicate unhealthy or manipulative behavior. You gotta recognize them and move accordingly. Because we'll recognize them. Oh, red flag. Treat like Six Flags America. Let's get on that ride again. Let's get on that ride again. And then wonder why everything messed up. It says, which is part of what makes them so dangerous. They are not always recognizable at first. However, they tend to grow bigger and become more problematic over time. You got to recognize them early. It's like problems with your car. Your car get the jerking or whatever. You take it in then. You don't ride like that for a month. Then be on the interstate, broke down, right? Matthew 7:17 through 21. Even so, every good tree that bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. If they're bringing forth the foolishness, that's what they're fools. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. So on the same breath, if you see somebody doing good and they're bringing forth good, don't condemn that person. Judge a tree by its fruits. Very simple teaching here. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. You know what that is a reference to, right? That not everybody goes to heaven. Where's the fire at? Right? Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven. Do you understand what that's saying? There's going to be people that's saying to him, they're going to call him master. I'm following you, and they're not going to make it. But it says here, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. What's the will of the Father? Is it religion? Is it these ideologies? Is it these idols? Is it anything I've been showing you in these series? What's the will of the Father? It's in the Word. It's in the good book. What does he say to do and what not to do? That's how he's going to judge you. And sorry if I'm yelling, but that's how I feel. 1 John 4:1, but beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of a higher, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. You got deceived people teaching deceived people. And that is a lot of these congregations. A lot of them. And how can you tell? Judge about the word is your strainer. Okay? So types of red flags, they hate the Most High's word. That's a big one. If they hate it, refuse to follow it, they're dismissive of it, that's a big red flag. If they don't believe in it, what makes you think that they're not going to commit adultery on you? Make you think they're not going to gamble away the money of the household? Or not communicate with you, or be good parents? Constant arguing and competition. Constantly, it's a competition. It's not supposed to be that. We don't compete, we complete each other. Non-constructive criticism. That's a big one. We all need criticism. The reason why my music, people have, all praise, people have talked to me about the stuff I just dropped. Like, we love it. It's great. Can I get a copy? Is it free? Of course. I got the link in the description box. Go check out the Bandcamp. It's going to be on here too. But yeah, I'll tell them thank you, man. I appreciate it. But the reason I got there is because constructive criticism. People's like, hey, man, your drum's a little too loud, man. You go hard, but you don't really harmonize like that, man. I mean, you be spitting, but you got, you know, I don't really hear you doing that. You know, it's kind of lacking from your music. Or, you know, you need to work on your mixing. You know, I can't hear you over the beat, or I hear you too high over the beat, or it's rough sounding. It doesn't sound clear. These are from people that are close to me, that pull my coattail, and even to this day, you know, I'm still cool with them. And they tell me, they be like, oh yeah. I'll tell them, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out, because we all have room for improvement, but we got to make the improvements. Only a narc believes that they're perfect, but only the Most High is perfect all the way. See, now we got to be perfect in following his perfect will. That's a different discussion though. But not so moving the goalposts. When you catch him here, you be like, hey, well, you said that this and that happened in 98, and but it was actually 92 when this law was passed. Okay, but what about this? And they'll start talking about something else. No. We gonna stay right here. That's when they had, oh, you're bashing me. That's when they go into victimhood. I'm telling you, it's like a roulette wheel. They throw the ball out and that thing will spin around. And when you catch them on one, they'll jump to victimhood. Then they'll jump to moving the goalpost. Then they'll jump to gaslighting. It's a roller coaster that I don't recommend anybody ride. So this is some things that happen with that. This is the last section. Gray rocking, silent treatment, and no contact. So gray rock is a technique to divert a toxic person's behavior by acting as unresponsive as possible when you're interacting with them. So if you have a baby mom or baby father you have to deal with that's NPD, you just gray rock. Yes, no, name, rank, and serial number. Keep it short. Stop trying. I just seen this Friday. Stop trying to get them to do what's right. Just accept them for who they are and move accordingly. Stubborn refusal to talk to someone. This is what they do in relationship. They ignore you, especially a recent argument or disagreement. No contact means no communication whatsoever. So in the relationship, a lot of times they'll ignore you, you know, because they want you to grovel for their attention. This is what they're about. I know this sounds crazy, but they're just like spoiled brats. That's what they act like. And the whole thing, when you go no communication, cut them completely off if you can. That's the best way. Family or whatever. If it's about your mental health, you got to do what you got to do. Or don't complain about the problem. It's your choice. Matthew 10:14. And whosoever shall not receive you, because, oh, Jesus said, love everybody, bring everybody in, everybody. But let's read this. Whoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house, shake the dust off your feet. Shake the dust off your feet. I feel like, do we need to make a song about, like, move on. Get on about your business, man. This is in the gospel. So all dogs go to heaven, we don't preach that on this side of the fence. 2 Timothy 3:5. Having a form of godliness. Oh, brother, she's spiritual. She got on the aunt, brother. She praying the dead ancestors, brother. I don't care how good that sundress look. Is that what you want your kids doing? You want her burning sage over your babies? So what happens when she leave you and she get custody? What you think gonna happen? Y'all gotta stop thinking with the little one and think with the big head, man. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Turn away. This is gospel. Now we're gonna go Old Testament. Proverbs 14:7. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. When you're talking to a brother or sister and you're telling them this and that, I've seen podcasts where it's actually fruitful. People are actually giving people good advice on finances and life and school and whatever, education. And as soon as they hear the advice, well, yeah, but they won't even let them finish. They already ready to put in their opinion. This person just gave you the perfect advice for your problem. But they always got to be right. Y'all gotta remember, they have to be right. In their mind, they are God and there's none beside them. You got to remember, this is how the NPD thinks. They are the most high. Okay? So like it says here, go from them. When you first perceive this, you got to go from them. This is that no contact stuff. Okay? This is where you got to cut them off. Or deal with the foolishness again. So types of avoidance, again, business only. If you're at work with one, it happens. I know, I've experienced it. Just deal with them accordingly. Name, rank, and serial number, okay? Social media, block them. Oh, I've had to block a few brews. Oh, I'm getting on believers of all natures. I had to block a few of them. I'm not going to deal with you want to go back and forth. And again, they're big debaters. I don't want to debate all day. Obviously, you can't bring forth the proof, because if you brought forth the proof, you could just present the proof. But they can't, because there is none. It's all about their opinion and feelings and emotions. That's why I say it's a dangerous word that they use. The passive aggressiveness, the cognitive dissonance. You see this is the truth. Notice the truth. Refuse to accept it. And the anxiety that comes with it, man. I don't recommend it. So this is, again, from article, what is narcissistic personality disorder? So y'all check that out. And y'all check out this video, because this block of scripture is never really read in context due to the 501c contract of the church. Y'all check this out.
Chapter 3. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses, and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts, ever learning, and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth, men of corrupt minds, reprobate concerning the faith.
Right, family, so this is the solution. There's no cure for narcissistic personality disorder. Although treatment can help you manage some of the symptoms, those people who may rank lower on the narcissistic scale are more likely to benefit. I believe these are the 3% that actually go and try to get help. Likely to benefit from mental health therapy compared to those who have a clinical NPD diagnosis. This is from that article. So it says, in fact, narcissists prefer to target someone who is strong-willed and who has talents or characteristics they admire because they believe it makes them shine too. They want to get in on your shine. They see that you're a light. Narcissists are drawn to those who can boost their own self-esteem and validate their sense of importance. So that's from Wasser Told Insider. Being associated with someone who is successful or admired can make the narc feel more important by proxy. This is why they love celebrities. Celebrities get all that attention, the fame, the grandiosity. This is why I couldn't figure it out over the years and I don't speak on celebs that much, but whenever I would expose them for doing something totally satanic, anti-Christ, anti-biblical, I would always have one or two, especially at least one, somebody come on my post defending this person. It's NPD trait. So I'm not going to read all this, but these are just a couple things. You can screenshot this that helps set healthy boundaries. It's okay to have boundaries. You're not made to be a doormat. Nobody's supposed to disrespect you and you go back for it and think that that's something Christ will want. Christ says shake the dust. Avoid unnecessary communication. Stop the small talk. That's how they get in. That's how they start to breadcrumb you and start the whole cycle again. You got to be strong enough to stand against this. You got to have a backbone. Okay, that don't mean be hard, be rude, be cruel, be evil. That just means be solid. Okay, choose your battles. Okay, you got to choose what you're going to fight with them about. And a lot of times, what I started to do once I started to realize these things with people in my life, I would say what I had to say, and they would continue arguing, and I would just leave it right there. That's what I had to realize. Men of wisdom, women of wisdom, they know when to keep the silence. It's unfruitful to speak to these people. Might as well argue with this wall behind me. Where is it? Cut ties when able. I just went over that. If you can cut ties, do it. And practice self-compassion. Okay. Understand that you don't deserve that treatment. You don't deserve to be abused. Nobody deserves to be abused. Okay? Unless they're abusers themselves, it is what it is. But somebody that's doing the right thing, you don't deserve to go through that. I'm tired of people tell me, oh, well, just forgive them. I forgave them. Okay, well, y'all should start kicking again. No, why? Obviously, they still got a problem. I done forgave them. I called him and told him, hey, man, I forgive what you did, man. We cool, man. All right, bet. This is people that were on the smear campaign. This is a person I'm talking about in particular. But I don't feel no ill will toward this person. For what? But I'm not going to invite you back into my home. I'm not going to invite you back into my car. I'm not going to sit up here and give towards your ministry like I was. You can just stay over there, man. I wish you the best over there. I hope you do better. I'm not even wishing evil upon you. But I see what you're still on. You dig what I'm saying? So I have to practice self-compassion with myself Giving this person compassion. Why not show myself some of that love? Why don't you show yourself some of that love? That you can respect yourself. That's not respectful to deal with somebody that's walking all over you, treating you wrong physically, mentally, spiritually, sexually, out there cheating on you and coming back home and you still laying with this person. You are putting yourself at risk. You better peep game. So conclusion, Proverbs 4:13. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. You got to keep the instruction of the Most High, the instruction of truth, the instruction of the Ruach Kodash, the Holy Spirit. You got to keep the instruction. It's not going to lead you to be in confusion. It's not going to I done seen people try to make the Bible contradict itself, and I'm showing them verbatim. Christians coming to my door, I'm showing her verbatim. She's trying to get me to join her church. She's giving me cards and flyers, and I'm saying Christ wants us to keep the commandments. That was how she asked me how we get in the kingdom of heaven. Well, Christ said those that keep the commandments will be granted into life. And she's trying to find a scripture saying, oh, well, just have faith. Okay, faith without works. What are the works? The works got to do it with the commandments. The works are either good or bad. That's how he's going to judge you. You can't stop watering the gospel down to get people to join. Stop. You might as well take all your food and your drinks and just water them all down. You make some chicken, just pour water all over it and then try to serve it. That's what you're doing to the gospel. Put water all in your wine and your juices and everything, and then try to serve it. Stop watering it down. Give it to people straight. If they don't want it, then they're not either fit or ready for the kingdom. Ecclesiasticus 6:21, last verse of the night. This is talking about the Holy Spirit. Y'all listen to this. Anybody dealing with NPD or trying to spread this truth or this gospel and what's coming in the future and what's happened, the prophecies therein, listen to this scripture. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial. He will cast her from him ere it be too long. When you give people this truth, when you give people the knowledge and the love and all the things that go with it, and they treating it like a burden, they're treating the spirit of truth like a burden. What more can you do with this person? They'll cast it from them. Let's read. For wisdom is according to her name. She is not manifest to many. Give ear, my son. Receive my advice and refuse not my counsel. Don't refuse the counsel of the Most High. Okay? You're taking the counsel of the world that's going to turn you into a doormat, turn you into a punching bag, turn you into somebody's bank account. Okay? They done went out in the world and messed up, and now they want you to come in and pay all the bills. Don't be no fool. You're not called to be here and be abused. You're called to do the works of the kingdom. If you are called. But like I said, many are called and few are chosen. So with that being said, thank y'all so much for watching this series. It's been great doing it. I had a blast, and now I have some more material I'm gonna be getting into. I got some more music I'm gonna be getting into, some more things for this channel. Are gonna be changing. Probably some different platforms, because I've been getting a little birdie. I've been seeing the red flags on YouTube. They already cutting your brother. You know, they already cutting my views and how I get seen on I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in real time, where my video will go up here and they'll just move it all the way down, like as if I didn't just post it. You did. But may the Most High keep you. We are going to keep moving forward. I'm about to go get something to eat, get my kids together, and we are going to be back with the next one. We got some real heavy hard hitters coming. This is the pace this channel's about to take, y'all. This type of meat. So strap in, get your notepads. We're going to be moving forward. Shalom and blessing to all of you.
Armageddon music. Yo, with these sale jobs and mail frauds, mail narcs who got discovered from bail bonds, thinking hard like militia, got his intel raw. Meditate on the type of drama you tell God. Most of these niggas is full of estrogen. I'd give you where I'm from, just readdressing it. They never regret it, we in the deficit. She can't Valentine me if I don't trust Cupid. When chivalry is dead, I film this execution. Frankie Beverly and Maze over club music. Most in the drunken stupor, you heard the club shootings. Repent, confess, I played a part in that drug movement. Babylon is confusion, unjust rulers. Brothers rush hating Chris, but they love Lucy. I'm on my Paul Mooney, try not to plug Judas. They thirsty in these streets, it ain't enough flu. Going live since they won't televise the revolution. Black label to the tribe, my urban faculty. Ready for battle, word to the cavalry. Core major, been so winning for pain. Never consider citizens were innocent slain. Negro, I be in the cut like a blood clot. From the dirt back to the dirt, world of dust mop. See, we've been indoctrinated by observation. They even talked about Yeshaya, but we God's favorites. A trainer can't change a dog's nature. Not a dot on the Dalmatian. What a lawless nation, even the border agents. This system cheating like Tom Brady.